for the very first time, a channel is being co-curated in India. So a big round of applause for the two co-curators we have, the very talented and multifaceted Karan Johar, and very talented and a youth symbol, in a manner of speaking, youth icon, Alia Bhatt. So big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Karan Johar and Alia Bhatt, who are actually the people who have curated this channel, which will come to you. So, you know, along with our team, but these are the people who picked the shows. These are the people who've sort of said how these shows should be coming to you, in which form, what should we be doing in scheduling them, and what are the other innovations we could bring in as we go around. And we have complete confidence in their talent and in their judgment, as many of you would know. And without further ado, let me now call on Alia to share everything else about Colors Infinity. Thank you so much.
We've had a lot of fun over the last few months putting this product together. I think one thing that's extremely important that we've touched upon in the past, but is really important for us, is that we went out and saw that when there's so many millions of people that consume English, why is it that they aren't necessarily watching English entertainment? They're watching English movies, they're watching different genres, but why aren't they really watching it? And the answer that we got was that they haven't really been invited. Nobody's ever gone and spoken to them. And when they come on, it looks like international beams and international feeds. And as you saw, we'll be changing that in a lot of ways. We gave you a sneak peek of that in the promos. The other thing is, we will be therefore reaching out to a broad base of people. We'll be going across 25 cities at least to market. And this is unprecedented again for an English language channel, which normally does not more than a 5 to 6 city campaign. So we're very, very serious about this business and growing and bringing in a much broader audience onto this in a way that they are comfortable. And of course, you've heard this phrase before, many times over. We've taken the cue and we will be creating a lot of English. All of you have been waiting for. Welcoming our partners in crime, the gorgeous Alia Bhatt and the absolutely fantastic Karan Johar.
Members of the press, if we could please ask you to settle down during the question and answer segment, please.
Right. It's very feasible. We also were feasible. The channel is exceptionally feasible. It's an exceptionally feasible channel, not only because I think its programming is very specific. I think it's been targeted very strongly to large viewership in this country, and not only just skewed to urban India, but I think it can travel because of its content. I think there hasn't been a single English entertainment channel with this kind of selection of shows. Not only are we taking some of the software that comes in internationally, but there eventually in time will be new age created software which will be done locally and domestically by us as well. So I think that the entire pie is huge. It selects the best of international television and will create new age Indian urban television as well.
Chat shows, soap, daily soap or something like that?
In a daily soap I may not come because I know that I'm known to do all kinds of things. But now to be part of a daily soap might be pushing it. But Raj Nayak is right in front of you, so I might be the new Balika and Balika Vadhu very soon. But maybe that won't air on Colors Infinity. I think there will be the content that you saw in our AV, will of course be one of our flag-off group of shows that will come. But with every 2 months, there will be regrouping, remastering and looking at new age television that is not only popular internationally, but other than that, and I think Prasad will tell you, there will also be creations that will happen locally by all of us as a team, and of course Prasad ruling the whole.
What is your role as a curator, and will you be creating any new content?
Actually, when the entire team at Viacom and Colors Infinity came to Alia and me, I think the reason they chose us is that we bring in, I bring in a certain kind of a seasoned viewership, Alia brings in the youth perspective, and both of us really are huge fans of international television. I think we've been watching it ever since I can remember, when I go back to my own teenage years, where we had to go to video libraries and get shows like Dallas and Dynasty and shows like Heart to Heart and Love Boat and Angela Lansbury with Murder She Wrote. And I remember waiting in line to get the right video cassette to watch it, because we wanted to be with the times. And those were not social media days, those weren't like active media days in terms of television. So when I was approached, this is something I feel deeply passionate about, and so does Alia. We were part of the entire selection process. We sat, we debated, there were conversations, there were yeses, there were no's, there were debates about should we put this show forward or not, will this be too niche, too dark, too edgy, or maybe it balances all the three factors efficiently, or maybe we should push the envelope, sometimes tear the envelope. So I think there were lots of these discussions. Alia actually watched a lot of the shows in the process. She would take bulk of all the content provided by the entire team, and suddenly, like she says, Orange is the New Black, like she's hooked onto it, and I'm already chasing her because I'm on season 3.
आप दोनों में से सबसे अच्छा कुक कौन है?
Who told you?
Apparently you can make cake.
I can make one cake. That's it.
मैं सैंडविच बना सकती हूँ, खाओगे?
मैं careers बनाता हूँ, खाओगे?
With the channel for the English people in India, coming back to Mr. Karan and Alia, whenever you guys come together, it turns out to be a great chemistry. So, what name should we give to your chemistry this time? And what miracles are going to happen in your chemistry this time?
What name should we give our chemistry? Infinity.
Infinity.
Yeah, very well.
The amount of self-censorship that television needs to do today, how much are we losing on? Like, should I just download the show and watch it uncut, or will I be missing out on a lot? Because, for example, Fargo has a lot of violence, which I don't think could be in the current Indian censorship scenario. So how does that work?
So I think, let me answer the question in 2 parts. One is the broader question you are asking as to what should be on television and should be on television. I think progressively, basically, we are now looking at self-regulation and trying to see how what can be brought in and making it more informed choice for the audience. That's a slightly long-term journey, to answer your question, because that is true for all content on television in India. As far as this specific piece is concerned, Fazal is better placed, but let me tell you, our endeavor would be to try and get you the content, international content, in its entirety or in its most meaty form. We will follow the idiom of television, so there will be some, to take your point, a few cuts if they are needed. Having said that, we are bringing these shows because we want to show these shows to the Indian audience on television. I think that's where.
Is it sensible to sort of give them trimmed version and not, like you said, entirely cut shows?
See, I keep saying this again, and this before we make it into a dialogue, but let me just respond once more for the final time here. I think television is also enjoyed for being television. We keep arguing this question. The future of television is television. Because the kind of, and Karan is here, so it's exactly like films. So there is something about television which is what you enjoy on television. Of course, you could get the entirety of the story, and this is an issue in India, I fully agree, on content regulation. But fact of the matter is, these are shows as you saw, some of them are big shows, these are very well mounted shows. You would love to enjoy them the way they are. We would retain the essence of the story and the story itself as much and as far as possible.
Give us one show that is an absolute favorite between the both of you, and one show that you didn't agree upon.
I think both of us will agree that, I think she'll agree with me. Orange is the New Black is the one that we both kind of unanimously loved. The show we didn't agree on, well, I don't want to say the show I didn't like, because that won't be fair, because it might kind of prejudice your kind of opinion on the show. But there were 2 that we actually fought very seriously about. But we don't want to mention those names because it might be your cup of coffee and it wasn't ours. And it certainly wasn't mine. She seemed to have won a lot for some strange reason. I think it had to do with the good-looking men in it.
But that's a great part about having you both on board, because you're speaking for an audience that will have their own preference of TV shows, right?
Exactly.
Some like some won't like some, so that's what it's all about.
Exactly, yeah.
What was the thought behind the name Colors Infinity?
Which part of it?
The infinity part.
Of course, Colors, as you know, and as Sudhanshu mentioned in his opening remarks, is the flagship of success and is synonymous with success across the country. It's the country's, probably the country's most successful media brand ever. And there's a lot of things that it stands for, right? Some of them are disruption, success, trying things differently, being innovative. We've always seen it, and it is definitely the brand that stands out the most in the existing Hindi GEC space, without doubt, right? So when we were launching an English language channel, we said that these are the things that we're setting out to do as well. If we have the country's most successful gender entertainment channel in-house, why not extend the Colors franchise? And that's how the Colors franchise came on to English television. As far as Infinity is concerned, I think you've seen it. 7 days, 7 shows. We have such a plethora of content. It's infinite horizons, it's infinite possibilities. And that's how Infinity came. There were 3 or 4 other options that we were close on, but that's how Colors Infinity came together.
Still, we are clueless about the making Indian content. Could you please tell us something about what kind of shows or programs you would like to make in India?
So English shows.
Locally,
Is it what you asked me?
Yeah.
Okay, now so we have Karan standing here, and everything's possible. But we obviously will we'll do things differently. There is an entire section of audiences that is very comfortable with Indians talking in English, and that's definitely a space that we want to go behind. Are we ready to announce any local productions as yet? The answer is no. But will we have any very shortly? The answer is yes. So you'll see a lot of it. It's important to our DNA.
Obviously a very Shandar entry you guys made, very Shandar.
Nice one, Shandar it is, definitely.
Very Shandar. So
on 22nd of October.
Do you think English is actually no longer a niche in India?
Yeah, I started by that. I think, by telling you that 210 million Indians nowadays interact with English in some form or the other. And it's likely to grow quite rapidly. We are already the second largest English-speaking consuming nation in the world, and we'll soon be number 1. And the rationale, as Azad just told you, of bringing Colors on board as well, is because Colors is a brand which reaches out to so many, and as we expand the footprint of English, Colors is a natural choice, So all Farzad had to do was to seek the permission of Raj Nayak, and then you had Colors Infinity on board. Thank you.
Let's give Colors Infinity one big round of applause, please. One big round of applause. That's all we have time for tonight. We're going to give you one more photo opportunity. If I could ask the 4 of you to please step together so that we have another opportunity for the members of the press to take pictures.
Shandar. Shahid Kapoor is Shandar. Shahid Kapoor
की शानदार शादी.
हाँ.
हो रही है अभी, आप फॉलो कीजिए.
उनको बहुत बहुत हम दोनों की तरफ से बधाइयाँ.
बधाइयाँ.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us as we embark on a journey to a new horizon. Thank you for making the launch of Colors Infinity so special. May I request the photographers and the rest of the audience to join